What if I was to tell you that there's actually a horror movie that exists where Gene Simmons of Kiss plays a disc jockey? Doesn't sound too off the wall or strange, right? But what if I told you that that same horror movie has the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, playing a preacher? You would think I'm crazy, but it's actually a thing, and the name of that movie is Trick or Treat, not to be confused with the 2007 classic Trick or Treat that has the cute little guy Sam, who's basically the embodiment of the spirit of Halloween, that if you cross, he does terrible and nasty things to you. No, this movie pokes fun at the satanic panic of the 1980s, where you constantly had parents groups and all this just craziness going on, and you had bands like Judas Priest and Twisted Sister going before Congress and pleading their case that metal music wasn't making people, or kids for that matter, do terrible things, and everything was the devil.
Those are the devil!
That movie came out back in 1986, and though it didn't get much play and recognition, it did have a little bit of success at the old video rental stores. But along the way, the movie kind of got lost. I don't know what exactly happened to the rights of the movie and this, that, and the other, but it never got translated over to DVD on a mass scale, and definitely not Blu-ray on a mass scale. Well, that seems to have been rectified, as I have an article here that's stating that somebody has acquired the rights to this classic gem of a film, and it's getting ready to be shown on the ScreamBox app on October 27th. So, let's have a look at the article right now. Sammi Curr lives. ScreamBox brings Trick or Treat to streaming for the very first time. What are you afraid of? It's only rock and roll. Decades before Michael Dougherty released Trick or Treat, there was Trick or Treat, a 1986 horror movie directed by Charles Martin Smith that introduced the world to undead rocker Sammi Curr. The cult classic has never before been available to stream, but Bloody Disgusting is changing that this Halloween. Cineverse has given horror fans a whole new reason to scream this spooky season as they announce the acquisition of the 1986 horror classic Trick or Treat from Red Shirt Pictures / Synapse Films. The company will premiere Trick or Treat just in time for Halloween weekend exclusively on ScreamBox. The film begins streaming this Friday, October 27th. This will be the first time the new restoration from Synapse Films has ever been seen, and it's also the first time the movie has ever made its way onto a streaming service. Synapse Films recently acquired the incredibly rare horror gem and provided it with a brand new 4K restoration that will receive a 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray Special Edition at a later date, and I will be getting that. The first feature from award-winning filmmaker Charles Martin Smith, who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think we've all heard of that film before, right? The film featured a cast of soon-to-be household names including Mark Price, Family Ties, and Doug Savant, Melrose Place, alongside rock icons Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. Trick or Treat blends the best of the 1980s metal scene with the decade's tongue-in-cheek take on the genre. Nearly 4 decades after its release, the film's nostalgic nuance still resonates with cinephiles, declaring Trick or Treat spells fun with an awesome story of fandom, Satanism, and the power of 80s music, and juicy cerebellum, adding "I loved metal music when this came out, hence I loved the film." This Halloween, it's party time! Following the death of his heavy metal idol, a bullied teenage boy inadvertently discovers a way to resurrect the rocker. After hearing the news of his hero's death, Eddie Weinbauer Price finds himself in possession of a one-of-a-kind item, the final recording of Sammi Curr. While at first the record seems to be like a godsend, things quickly turn when he discovers its sinister secret. Played a certain way, mostly backwards. That's kind of how it was in the 80s. It has the power to bring the demonic rocker back from the dead and unleash heavy metal hell on those who get in his way. Insane. So there you go, fiends. In 2 days, the classic Trick or Treat, not Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat is coming to a streaming app for the very first time. I mean, if you didn't grow up in the 80s or the 90s, it's a good bet that you've never seen this movie, and to be a true horror fan, I would say you would have to at least see this movie once. It's just a perfect blend of cheesy acting, maybe somewhat okay storytelling, heavy metal, all of that dumped into a bowl, and it just looks like a bowl of vomit. But goddamn it, after you get done baking it in that oven, it comes out, it's just magnifique. But anyway, guys, if you've actually seen Trick or Treat, tell me about what you felt about that movie down here in the comments below. Let me hear about your memories of it. Also, too, if you've never seen it, let me know if you're excited to see it. And also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you would, please hit that little subscribe button down below, Hadouken that notification bell, give us a thumbs up. And as always, it's been your old buddy John, and I'll see you again next time.